Alright, so when I started doing these driving instructional YouTube videos, I didn't realise I was going to fall into some fetish subset of people who like watching feet press pedals. Some of the videos suggested my content is just women driving in flip-flops. Comments like, "Ooh yeah, make it do it barefoot next time, that was amazing." I don't really get it, but I'm pretty open, so each to their own. If you are here for the genuine car stuff, welcome. And today we're going to be doing how to rev match, and then moving forward from that, how to heel toe. So we'll do rev matching first of all, and then once we've done the rev matching, you've got an understanding of exactly how it works. That's when I'll show you how to do the heel toe. So both these techniques are fairly advanced techniques, and there's not really a need to use them on the road. Having said that though, when you do use them on the road, it does make the car and the changing gear a lot smoother. And so the point of this and what we're trying to eliminate is when you change down normally, the wheels and the transmission are going at a different speed to the engine. So if you're going at speed and you change down without doing it, there's a delay whilst all that speeds up and catches up, so it's all going at the same speed, and that can cause the car to jerk quite severely. In most severe cases it can cause the wheels to lock up a little bit, and so this is the point of rev matching and heel toe, to eliminate that from actually happening. When you do it correctly, you match the speed of the transmission exactly with the speed of the engine, and it makes it a seamless shift. Now when you're doing this, you shouldn't be block shifting, so you shouldn't be going from 6th to 2nd or anything like that. Like I said in my previous video, it should be down each gear at a time, so 6th to 5th, 5th to 4th, etc. So rev matching can be done when you're in a situation where you need to change down to be in a more optimal gear, but you don't actually need to press the brake. So for example, if you're in a speed limit zone and you're coming up behind a car, you want to get past them soon, so you want to be in a better gear, but you don't actually need to brake as you're approaching them. Okay, so just changing down normally. So I'm in 4th gear now, and I want to change down to a lower gear. Hang on a second, I don't know. Right, okay. And I'll change down to a lower gear to be in a more optimal gear for what I'm coming up to. And I'm going to do it without pressing the accelerator at the same time. So, oh shit, I did it. Right, so I'm in 4th gear. I want to change down to being a more optimal gear because there's a car coming up that I want to be past, but I don't need to brake on the approach as I'm catching up with them. So to change down without pressing the accelerator, you'll watch the rev limiter, and what you'll see is it jump up, and that's basically the transmission catching up with the engine speed. So when we're ready now, and you felt the jerk in the car as well. So the whole point of rev matching is to eliminate that completely, so it's a smooth shift, change up to get into a better gear. Okay, so we've approached the car. We're going about 20 miles an hour below the speed limit. So what I want to do is be in a position so that when the road opens up, I'm in the optimal gear to overtake them as quickly as possible. Now if I was just to change down, as I did before, the car's going to jump, be jerky, it's not going to be nice, and there's going to be a couple of seconds before it sorts itself out. And what we want to do is no surprises on the car. We want to make it as smooth as possible. So as I change down a gear, so I'm going to go from 4th to 3rd, when the clutch is pressed in, I'm going to blip the throttle a little bit, enough to get the revs to where they will be in the exact position for 3rd gear. Now it takes a bit of time to learn how to do that, where the revs are going to go to and how much to press on the accelerator, but a bit of practice, and that actual process doesn't take long to do once you've been driving a manual car for a little bit of time. So clutch in, rev 3rd gear, and we're exactly at the revs that we needed to be in. So now we're moving up to the optimal point in the rev range so I can get past them quickly and safely, and we're just waiting for the road to open up. So I'm just going to leave it in this gear whilst the road opens up, and as soon as that happens I'll be able to overtake. Okay, so clutch in, a quick rev to match the RPMs that the engine's going, and then release the clutch, and as you've done all that, you should be now in the gear that you need to be in, ready for the overtake. And that works the same with any gear you go into. So from 6th down to 5th, 4th to 3rd, 5th to 4th, whatever you want to do, changing down one gear, just a blip on the throttle whilst the clutch is depressed to match the revs that the engine's going, and then once you get used to that, it should be a smooth shift. Now if you learn that first of all, before you try to heel toe, it'll make heel toeing a lot easier because you've got an idea of how much pressure and how long you need to press the accelerator for. It's literally just a quick dab that you need to do, but by rev matching first of all, it'll make the process of learning heel toe a lot easier. And now we'll move on to heel toe. So heel toe is basically the process of doing the same scenario as rev matching, but you're also braking at the same time. So coming up the corners where you need to change down gear, any situation where you're on the brakes and you want to change down to a lower gear at the same time, and that's when you would heel toe. So I can see a corner to the right, so what I'm going to do is just down to third, and that's all I need to do. So as I'm pressing the brake and I need to change down, I'm just using the back heel of my foot to just quickly time. It's just exactly the same process. I know the car pretty well, so I know exactly how much pressure I need to put on the accelerator and for how long, but it's literally just a short, sharp dab to lift the revs to match the engine speed. So coming up to the corner, just down into fourth, down into third, and exactly the same process again. So you can see what's happening on the rev-ometer. I don't know what you call it, the rev-ometer. But basically when I change down to a lower gear, the needle's not going any higher than what I'm jabbing the accelerator at, and crucially as well, it's not going any lower and jumping up to catch up with the engine speed. Now to do this process properly, it takes a long time to learn, but hopefully if you get the rev matching down first of all, it'll make the process a lot easier to learn as well at the same time. And that's everything you need to know to learn that technique. If I didn't explain anything clear enough, or you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. If you have a particular video that you would like to see about driving, please again put them in the comments below so I know or have an idea of what information you would like to see or learn. And please consider subscribing to the channel. New videos, I'm going to change the day I do them now, so this one's going to come out on Wednesday, but next one is going to come out on a Thursday, so I'm going to change it to what we call Full Throttle Thursday. Just a bit of fun, some kind of car content, and I'll see you then. So see you in a bit, bye.